Welcome to Stoic Inner Power, a sanctuary for those seeking the strength to reclaim their true selves from the world's expectations. There comes a moment in life when the soul feels incredibly heavy, burdened by the endless task of pleasing everyone else. You have spent years sacrificing your own truth just to keep the peace, walking a tightrope to avoid making waves. But instead of fearing that you might disappoint the people around you, you begin to fear that you are losing yourself. The awakening happens when you realize that saying no to others is actually the only way to say yes to yourself. When you stop trying to please everyone, you do not become cruel or cold, but you suddenly become incredibly clear. You stop wasting your precious energy hoping to be understood by others and start investing that energy to understand your own soul. Marcus Aurelius once whispered that we should not fear death, but rather we should fear never beginning to truly live. For too long, you have been an actor in a play written by others, reciting lines that never belong to you. The Stoics teach us that the greatest tragedy is not a short life, but a life spent performing for an ungrateful audience. True freedom is not about changing the world around you, but changing how much you let the world control your mind. Epictetus reminds us that no man is free who is not a master of himself, regardless of his physical circumstances. To master yourself, you must be willing to cut the strings of validation that you have handed out to everyone else. This path of liberation comes with a price. For when you change, the people who benefited from your weakness will react. They will call you distant, arrogant, or selfish because you no longer serve the purpose they had assigned to your life. But remember, it is far better to be disliked for who you truly are than to be loved for a lie. Seneca warned that we are not given a short life, but we make it short by wasting it on trivial things. There is no greater waste of time than living to fulfill the expectations of those who do not know your heart. You must learn to shed the dead leaves of old relationships and habits to make room for new growth to emerge. Solitude is not a sign of loneliness, but a sign that you have become selective about who deserves access to your energy. As you grow, your circle will naturally become smaller, but the connections that remain will be made of pure, solid gold. The air becomes cleaner when you stop breathing in the pollution of other people's drama and start breathing your own truth. You begin to recognize the person in the mirror not as a stranger, but as a long-lost friend returning home. From this height, the opinions that once controlled you look small and insignificant, lost in the vastness of your new perspective. Writing your own story requires the courage to hold the pen firmly, even when your hand shakes from the fear of judgment. Your inner fire must be protected. Do not let the winds of external criticism blow out the light of your spirit. Every time you say no to something that drains you, you are depositing power back into the bank account of your soul. You are dismantling the fortress you built to protect yourself, realizing that vulnerability is actually a form of invincible strength. Like water off a lotus leaf, let the expectations of society roll off your back without weighing down your inner peace. Curate your life with the same care a museum curator gives to art. Display only what brings value and beauty. The Stoics believe that we are citizens of the cosmos, not servants to the petty demands of our immediate neighbors. Set your sails towards authenticity, leaving the safe but suffocating harbor of conformity far behind in your wake. Peace is not found in the external world, but is created within when you stop fighting against your own nature. Reconnect with the simple reality of existence, where trees and birds do not ask you to be anything but yourself. Choose the stillness of the lake over the chaos of the crowd, for wisdom cannot be heard in the noise. Life is the art of subtraction. You are carving away everything that is not you until the masterpiece is revealed. You can offer kindness to everyone you meet without feeling obligated to offer them a permanent seat at your table. Your intuition is your moral compass. When you stop listening to others, it finally has the chance to point north. As the sun sets on your old life of people-pleasing, a new dawn of self-respect is preparing to rise tomorrow. Forgive yourself for the time you spent betraying your own needs. It was a necessary lesson in learning your value. Be like the bamboo, flexible enough to navigate the world, but rooted deeply enough that nothing can uproot your principles. The person staring back at you in the mirror is the only one you need to impress for the rest of your life. The road ahead may be less crowded, but it is paved with authenticity, integrity, and a profound sense of purpose. Open your hands to receive the life that has been waiting for you, now that you have dropped the heavy burdens. Tend to your own garden, and you will find that butterflies come to you without you having to chase them down. Order returns to your mind when you stop letting the chaos of other people's expectations dictate your daily emotional state. Let the opinions of others flow under the bridge like water. They are transient, but your character is solid stone. Just as a flower does not bloom to please the bee, you do not exist to validate the existence of others. In the silence of your own company, you will hear the whispers of wisdom that were drowned out by the noise. Let the waves of time wash away the footprints of your past mistakes. You are creating a new path today. There is a dormant power within you that can only be unleashed when you stop leaking energy to the outside world. You will still help others, but now it comes from a place of overflow and love, not fear and obligation. Feel the lightness in your chest when you realize you are no longer responsible for managing everyone else's emotions. The greatest reward of this journey is the ability to lay your head down at night with a peaceful heart. The storm of change may be frightening, but it is always followed by the rainbow of clarity and new beginnings. Do not be afraid to walk the path less traveled, for that is where you will find the treasures of self-discovery. Awaken to the reality that your life is your own creation, and no one else holds the brush but you. Build your boundaries not to shut people out, but to show them where the door is to your sacred space. Rise above the noise, above the guilt, and above the fear, until you are soaring in the clear air of truth. There is a profound joy in simply being without the need to perform, to explain, or to justify your existence. You are closing the chapter of people-pleasing and opening a new volume titled The Mastery of the Inner Self. Let this be the day you finally declare your independence and step into the light of your own authentic power. The chains were never made of iron, they were made of your own thoughts, and you have the key to unlock them. Stand tall like a mountain. Let the weather of other people's moods pass over you while you remain grounded and moved. Hold on to your truth with a grip that never falters, for it is the most valuable possession you will ever own. Walk forward with courage, knowing that the path of the Stoic is not easy, but it is the only path to freedom. Thank you for taking this time to reflect on your journey. May you find the strength to be truly yourself. If this message resonated with you, please subscribe to Stoic Inner Power. Reclaim your life and find your peace today.